And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody see me and can everybody hear me? Okay. So, how's everybody doing? We are live a little bit later than usual, but this is as early as I could pull off. So, the season came to an end today. The Seahawks scored a surprising upset victory over the Cardinals, 38 to 30. They mostly played very well. They did a lot of good things. They did a lot of things the way that I think that Pete Carroll wants to do them. And in some ways, I will say that if you have already resigned yourself to a pretty similar 2022 to 2021 in terms of the personnel and the coaches and the front office, then I guess a game like this can make you believe that it is at least possible that it can produce good results before the before Carroll walks away. So basically, I already summed it up in my post game video, but Wilson made two really bad plays in this game, but otherwise he played really well. The running game was pretty dominant. The By the way, can everybody hear me? I'm getting a notification from YouTube Studio that my audio stream's bitrate is 0, which I don't know what that means. But anyway, yeah, offensive line for the most part I think played really well. Very, very high on those guys overall right now. There was a little bit of leakage in pass protection, but even that wasn't that bad. The defense played a solid game, basically 16 points allowed. A lot of pressure on Murray, a lot of sacks on Murray, which that's not easy to do. Nothing on the defense really did anything terrible, I don't think. And special teams, we made a big play on special teams. Pretentious Cameron, thank you for the $5, tipping you a few bucks for all the entertainment you have provided me this year. Thank you, Pretentious Cameron. I appreciate the support, and I have had a terrible week. I have had a really awful week. I'm just going to go ahead and admit that right now. Like, literally, if you go back on the calendar and exactly 1 week ago to this moment, my pain started then, and it has not relented until basically an hour ago when the power came back on. So I appreciate the support. I need it this week. So anyway, the Seattle Seahawks finished their year out 7-10, and they also finish on a 4-2 final 6 games. I think, yeah, 4-2, with one of those losses being rigged by the NFL. So it's a pretty good way to go into the offseason, and I think it's going to be all the fuel that this team needs to bring back Carroll, bring back Schneider, bring back Wilson, bring back Waldron, bring back Norton, bring back Solari, etc., all the way down the line. I think we are going to see a team bring it back next year, and I know that a few people are pretty happy about that. I know some people are happy about that. I can't be happy about it. Sorry, it's not going to happen. I think that, to be perfectly honest, this team could be good next year with Carroll. It could be good, but I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be elite. And if I don't think this team has the ability to be elite, then I don't want anything to do with it. So I can't take it as good news. But hey, the way the running game has worked the last month and a half, you can look at it and squint and kind of go, hey, this team really could have a dominant rushing attack next year, and then they could ride that to a deep playoff run. I'm not buying it right now. But anyway, enough about that for now. I'm going to go ahead and start taking a look at comments. I'm going to stream for about an hour, so I'm going to stream until about midnight. I'm going to stream until midnight. And I will answer as many comments as I can, but I won't be able to get to all of them because I'm going to be getting quite a few. Not as many as usual because it's so late. But I will do what I can. And if you have a comment you really want me to see and reply to, then send it in as a super chat, and I'm guaranteed to see it and respond to it. I'll read it on stream as well. Channel members are somewhat more likely to see their comments replied to. And I guess that's about it. We have new member and subscriber goals for January over on my left. So if you guys are for some reason not subbed or thinking about becoming a member but haven't yet, you can go ahead and jump on that wagon. And any super chats will show up in the tip jar to my left and help keep the channel running. Are you going to live stream any of the wild card games? Possibly, Aaron Tran. Possibly. What about Quandre Diggs, Jordan McMath? Stop spamming the same comment over and over, by the way. That'll get you kicked. We don't do that around here. Do you re-sign Penny? And if so, what do you offer him? I offer him a few million, and I call it good. Nolan Stout, thank you for the $4.99. Here's to another Freddie Swain busted coverage touchdown. You know, I don't know if that was a busted coverage. I don't know if that was a busted coverage so much as it was a really well-schemed play that actually schemed somebody wide open. Is Rashad Penny going to be that guy? Is this just more fool's gold, or do we actually have some running back in our hands? I think that I think that you may as well bring Penny back. Like, how much money is Penny going to cost? $3 million at most? I'd give him $3 million. What's wrong with $3 million? How do you feel about Diggs' future with the team? I don't really want him back. I don't think I want him back. Thoughts on Brooks' season this year? He's exactly what we thought we were getting when we drafted him. Oh, Roy Chapa, welcome to the membership club, buddy. Welcome. Have you been a member before? That name sounds very familiar. I'm not sure. Would you give Penny $5 million? Now you're pushing it. Because if you're going to give a running back $5 million, I need him to play basically the whole season. And I don't think Penny's capable of that. Yes, Sam, of course it was. Of course it was. Weird question. Don't really know how to respond to that other than to just say it had to be. Who do you think we need to pay to stay aside from Penny? Charisma? I think we should keep Everett, honestly, because I don't think he's going to be that expensive. I want to let Diggs go. Let Dwayne Brown go. Bobby Wagner needs to get cut. Jason Myers and Chris Carson need to go. Maybe one or two others. Thank you for the $5. Cheers to the end of a shitty season. Thanks for the hours of content, brother. Yeah, I'm glad it's over. I don't see any offseason moves to make this team a playoff team next year. I think you could get a better left tackle. Why don't you like Diggs? I like Diggs. I just don't want to pay him, especially after today, as sad as that is to say. Oh, yeah, Sam. Of course I like Curhan. What do you think is more of a priority between right tackle and center? Oh, center, easily. Expect other teams to compete with the Seahawks for Penny. Are other teams really that stupid? Like, it's not like I've ever doubted that Penny's a good player. The problem with Penny is that he doesn't stay healthy, and that is still the case just because he's played 6 games. No Carson? Yeah, Carson, I think Carson's going to retire. He has a neck injury. Like, that's no joke. Carson needs to not play football again for... It's not going to end well if he plays football again. Yeah, exactly, Austin. I don't trust Pete and John to spend big in free agency, and I don't trust them to hit in the draft. Although, I will say this. I bash this team's drafting like nobody's business. The last 2 drafts we've had with, the Brooks, Taylor, Damian Lewis, Alton Robinson draft looks pretty good. And last year's draft, if you remember that we only had a few picks, actually looks pretty good if you count Jake Curhan. Yeah, Anonymous 1337. Teron Armstead is top of my list. I would pay him $100 million. I think the Hawks will lowball Metcalf and offer 17 mil a year. I don't think he's going to sign for that, so they're going to have to do a little better than that. The Texans, Jags, and Lions are all teams that immediately come to mind as teams that will try to sign Penny. I mean, the Jags have too many running backs as it is. They got Carlos Hyde, they got James Robinson, they got the Clemson dude they stupidly took in the first round who broke his foot. Travis Etienne or whatever? Okay, but A.D.O. Williams, the thing is, Griffin actually was a good player. Oh, congratulations, Jay. I mean, Griffin was a good player who actually played almost every game that he suited up for. Someone took Flowers. I mean, we cut Flowers and then somebody signed him for basically league minimum. I don't think that means anything. Pretentious Cameron, maybe we being in Fournette. I'm not a Fournette fan, but I guess he's fine. I don't think he's good, but I guess he's fine for what we need for a running back. Just join thoughts on Diggs getting re-signed. I don't think we should bring him back. Yeah, Dunlap played a great game. I think that Dunlap will be back next year just because we need somebody. And honestly, at this point, I think we can reasonably state that he had a bad year because of the turf toe. Wagner thoughts? I don't want him back next year. I don't. Cornerback position's not a mess, Roy Chapa. It might be a mess if we let everybody go, but right now I don't think it's a mess. I think Sidney Jones will probably be back. Is Jamal going to be back? Yeah, he has to be back. Jamal literally has to be back. It costs more money to get rid of him than it does to keep him. I wish we had our first round pick, of course. Honestly, I'm going to say this. As far as I'm concerned, the Jamal Adams trade by itself should get Carroll fired. Have you ever considered that Wagner might be earning his salary off the field helping to mentor these guys at practice, just being a leader? No, because the defense isn't that good. Why won't they fire Ken Norton? Because they think he's good. And honestly, based off the last year and a half, I guess that's a fairly defensible position, but I want to try to do something better. How much of Penny's problems is from Ivan the Terrible? It's very possible that that's part of the issue, but that doesn't explain the depth of injury problems that we've seen with him. You still hate Myers? Well, Myers is going to make $5 million next year. We can't afford that. Yeah, I saw Witherspoon make a couple of plays for the Steelers, but overall he hasn't done that much for him. I don't know how Barton played today. I'm really torn on that. The numbers are pretty good, but I saw him miss some tackles. I don't know. Barton, he was okay. Of course I am, Ray. That's going to be a lot of what I do over the next few months. I agree with you on Norton. I really want Fangio. Yeah, Pete, here's the thing. If we get rid of Norton, we're just going to get another Carroll underling. Another Carroll lapdog. Yeah, Jordan McMath, that stuff drives me crazy, but I don't think Norton's going to go. I don't. As of right now. Yeah, King Xavier, it's not about one bad season. It's about, look, if you're going to make the Jamal Adams trade, that's fine. If you're going to overpay to trade for Jamal Adams, okay, but you better make real damn sure that you don't end up with a high pick with one of those picks. And don't tell me it wasn't Carroll's fault. Don't tell me that he got unlucky, because I see teams out there right now that have more bad luck than the Seahawks, that had lower expectations than the Seahawks, and they're better than us. The Baltimore Ravens had 1 billion injuries this year. Their injury situation was way worse than the Seahawks this year, the Ravens. And the Ravens came this close to making the playoffs, and they're a better team than us. The Eagles were supposed to be giving up this season. The Eagles were supposed to be punting on this year. They made the playoffs. They have a winning record. They're better than us. So I'm not interested in excuses for this season. Yeah, Yeah, Colts fans, man. I don't know what to say about that though. Like, I'm a big Frank Reich fan, but no showing that game. Like, I have to question how good he really is if they can no show that game. Yeah, exactly, Ethan. I don't think Fangio would be able to do any of the Fangio stuff. Yeah, Crayon dude, they did say that, but at this point, I'm just dubious. I see a team that is been lubing us up the last 2 weeks to run it back. And the thing that really frustrates me is Carroll comes out after the worst loss of the season 2 weeks ago and says, I don't think we need to change anything. I think we're good. There's no thought in my mind that we need to change what we're doing. You just lost to the Bears, bitch. Who do you think the Jags should hire as head coach? Probably Dan Quinn. Do you believe Russ will go? As of right now, I don't. But that's the of the big things that can happen, that's the most likely thing. I don't know about Adrian Peterson as a coach. Yeah, Austin. Also, I'm gonna have to stream at least for an hour tomorrow because I'm only streaming for an hour tonight. I don't know Rajho. I think he thought he could get the ball back. Yeah, like I'm still really confident. I'm pretty sure Wagner's gonna leave. Like eventually, I almost kind of feel like Russ would go to Pete and be like, "Okay, either you release Wagner or I am requesting a trade. I'm not dealing with this shit no more." Yeah, I like Kellen Moore a lot. Kellen Moore's one of my favorites, but I don't know. I'm a little put out on the whole blowing it up thing right now. I really am. What are the odds are we re-sign Penny? I think they're high. I think they're actually quite high. We might even overpay for him. But hopefully all the injury hopefully we remember that he gets hurt way too much. Right now, I kind of feel like the best we're going to be able to do this offseason is get rid of the Clint Hurts and Ivan the Terrible. I don't want Wagner back this season if he plays for free, honestly. I don't even want Wagner back if he's willing to play for a hot dog. Like, it's time to turn the page. Thoughts on Swain this season? He sucks. I can't, did Eskridge even see the damn field today, by the way? You like Cody Barton? He's all right. I'm willing to give him a chance. I don't know how he did today overall. Like, I'm kind of torn. Like, the numbers are good, but I saw him miss some tackles and misplay some stuff. Charisma, I'm going to do a lot of video games. And I'm going to do a lot of off-season work. Y2K, I do have a generator, but I can't use it to power the internet. No, why? Are you guys messing around? Are, I'm just gonna ignore the Antonio Brown stuff. You guys are silly. I was on the Antonio Brown wagon for a while, but that wagon is currently being plugged up the asshole of the earth and buried deep. Roman, I don't think the Jordan Brooks pick was good, but he is a good player, so at least he has that going for us. Yeah, absolutely, Austin. I agree with that. Yeah, I hope people aren't being serious with the Antonio Brown stuff. Like that was defensible a few months ago, but the dude literally started ripping his clothes off in the middle of a football game. Like you can't, and he's playing with Tom Brady and the one of the greatest offenses in the league. If they can't keep him happy, then nobody's going to be able to keep him happy. Yeah, the Creed Humphrey thing looks kind of bad right now. ADO Williams, I agree with that. LJ Collier, disastrous first round pick. I still think the Penny pick is bad, even though he's playing really well lately. Like, who cares? Scarecrow Bar, thank you for the $5. Keep everybody, Pete, Russ, Wagner, Diggs, Penny. Call it the Scarecrow Pill and get on board, bishes. Well, the thing is with Diggs is you don't even keep him. You have to actually re-sign him. So I don't know what's going to happen there. That's going to be interesting. Y2K, thank you for the $5. The users want a free Jake Curhan jersey giveaway, Fallout 2 and Disgaea 2 stream, and for you to start Warhammer Army with all these streaming funds. I'm going to be doing stuff like that this year, I think, Y2K. What if we only get new DC? Well, nothing's going to be changed. Nothing's going to be changed because Carroll is in charge of that defense at the end of the day. I don't see the Wagner situation like you do. Okay, but none of that stuff, none of the stuff you just said, King Xavier, has anything to do with results on the field, is the thing. Okay? The purpose of a football team is to win games, not to be filled with people that you like being around, is my thing. Okay, this is not an Adam Sandler movie. This is a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. We're trying to make a good movie here. Because a football team always has to exist with the purpose of winning as many games as possible and having as much success as possible. Okay? Well, honestly, Daniel, it's the Jets. Wouldn't a first, third McDougald been good enough? Did you really have to go 2 firsts? Yeah, we do need a new center. Postic's okay, but I want to do better. We'll see. We'll see. Royd, I think we're going to lose Clint Hurts and get a new DL coach, but who knows if that makes any difference at all. Yeah, Austin, I might do call-in. They're honestly exhausting, though, and when things are going bad, I don't even want to think about doing call-in stuff. Like, I know it's going to hurt to see Bobby playing for another team, but if you wanted to keep Bobby in 2022, you shouldn't have drafted Jordan Brooks. You can't draft Jordan Brooks and then plan on Bobby being here forever. We still don't know how good Jordan Brooks really is because he can't play the middle. And then we're not going to know if we can pick up his 5th-year option or not. Yeah, the defensive line played really good today. Puna actually got after the quarterback, which, we needed that 4 months ago, but hey. How do you grade our DL this year from 1 to 10? 2. It's pretty bad, Yanko. I'm really disappointed in that crew. DJ Reed and Sidney Jones. I want Sidney back. DJ Reed I want back, but I think he's going to be too expensive. I mean, honestly, the defense played good today, right? This should be a learning time for people. We don't have Bobby Wagner today at all. He does not play a single snap, and the defense looks fine, right? Think about it. What does that tell you? It tells you that Bobby doesn't have this big impact. The numbers are nice. He does good things. But he's not having a monster impact on this defense the way that his numbers would indicate. The Berg Show, no, I don't want Bobby for any price. Honestly, if Bobby offered to play for free, I don't know how I would feel about that because I need Brooks to play in the middle this year because that's where he belongs. Or I need Barton to play in the middle so we can figure out if he's any good. Okay, I see, and the defense was good today. So what does that tell you? That should tell you something. That should tell you that Bobby is not really having that big of an impact. He's just a tackle farmer. Honestly, at this point, Jordan Brooks is a better tackle farmer than Wagner. Is Barton an FA? I thought he had 1 more year on the rookie deal. Yeah, what was Wagner going to do today to make this defense play any better? He's a lot slower than Barton and Brooks. You think he can keep up with You think he can keep up with a guy like Kyler Murray? Barton might be our best linebacker in coverage, honestly. Tom Nara, that's close, especially if it's the two first this year. Yeah, I know, Scarecrow Bar. They finally blew a lead. Brooks is not good in coverage. Brooks is definitely not good in coverage. Not even close. Yeah, Royd, we're never going to switch to anything other than a 4-3 cover 3. Yeah, the only changes I can imagine next year would be I don't think Wagner's going to be back. I don't think that Clint Hurts is going to be back. Other than that, it could go anyway. And by the way, can everyone please like the stream? We got 110 people in here and 20 likes. Yeah, exactly, David. That 19 play drive today, like, what in the hell? I know a little bit about him, Jordan. I mean, running backs are pretty anonymous, so maybe. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl? I have the Packers. Pete did not sound like a guy who wants to retire. Pete did not sound like a dude who's interested in retiring. I'll say that much. Luis, I'd like to switch to a 3-4 to try to get more out of Jamal Adams. Yeah, exactly, Ethan. Farming tackles doesn't make you a great player. That'd be pretty cool, Daniel. Wilson for Rogers straight up. Shoot. Here's what I'm going to say about this, though. If we run it back with Wilson, Carroll, Schneider, blah, 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 if we're not good next year, I have receipts. You people who support this, I have receipts. And I hope to God there will not be a single person alive who supports keeping Carroll and Schneider and da 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 if we're bad again next year. Titans versus Packers, Super Bowl 56. Could be. No, I don't want AB. Why would I? I'm not addressing any more AB comments. My God. It's like you guys have not paid attention to football for the last couple weeks. Did you not notice him doing a Chippendale routine on the middle of a football field in the middle of a game? Well, obviously Dunlap wasn't injured today because he balled. He played real well. Did you want Flash Gordon? I mean, kinda, but it's not like receiver's a big problem for us overall. I think Penny should probably come back as long as he's cheap. What's the harm? Even if he gets hurt, it's not that big of a deal. You just have to build your running back room really deep. Look, I'm not a huge PFF guy, but according to PFF, Jordan Brooks is below average. They don't even think he's good. They think he's below average. I'm not saying that makes him below average, but there's more to life than just farming tackles. And PFF is trying to be able to parse through that data. Well, Mask, I would assume that Eskridge gets a lot of burn next year. Anonymous, those guys, Von Miller and Chandler Jones are just old. I don't know. I feel like they would just fall off the cliff if they came here. We're half hour through the stream, by the way, so I want to reiterate. We have about 110 people in the stream right now. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. Become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month to gain access to perks. We need 3 more to reach our January goal. And donations from Super Chat show up in the tip jar to my left. They help keep the channel going and are appreciated. Who should we sign as a pass rusher? I would kind of like Fletcher Cox. Yeah, Daniel. I mean, we all kind of already know that was an L so far. As long as Pete is in Seattle, we need a great running back. Yeah, we need to build a very stout running back room this offseason, I think. I don't think Patrick Queen's good. I don't think Patrick Queen... What are your membership perks? Mostly it's just the emojis. But I'm going to start introducing merchandise this offseason. I can do some pretty cool custom merch that very few other people are capable of doing. I've been kind of waiting for the channel to get big enough for me to justify doing it. Yeah, I don't think Patrick Queen's good. PFF hates him even more than Jordan Brooks. I was watching today, and he completely whiffed on a tackle in coverage against Pat Freiermuth. Jordan McMath, I think Ryan Neal is just like... I think he's just like a guy who's good if he plays 25 snaps a game, but if he plays too much, he's just going to get beat. Like, Ryan Neal, watching him play full-time these last few weeks, I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not that impressed. Well, the Al Woods thing was okay, too, because that was cheap. I don't want to give Von Miller $10 million a year to come here and collect retirement checks. That's kind of what I feel like would happen. Yeah, Wilson's trade value is going to be fine, Scott Nina, but it just doesn't feel like we're actually going to do it. The only thing that could happen would be Wilson asking for a trade. If Wilson requests a trade, then it's over. Maybe we let Neal play his natural CB position. That is true. But seeing him play full-time at safety, I'm not that impressed. We kind of had to pay Adams after trading for him, but obviously we all want that trade back, don't we? I just wish we could switch to a 3-4. I feel like Adams would be way better in the 3-4. Winning the Super Bowl is the only goal. Yeah, I think that there are a decent chunk of my commenters and followers and subscribers on YouTube who don't get that. Okay? They seem to think that the goal is to have Russell Wilson on their team. They think that the goal is to have fun watching football. And it drives me nuts. Like you start trying to debate with these people and then they out themselves as somebody who doesn't really have high expectations and you're like, oh, you're one of those, you know? Well, Mask, it's not like he's going to cost a lot of money. He's going to be super cheap, so why not if you think he's good? I'm still kind of hung up on Tanner Muse, though. I want to see if that guy can play. I feel like he got a bad rap in LV. Y2K, thank you for the $5. Warhammer 40k Battle Sector is a cool turn-based game, turn-based streams. I feel on D, we have to address potentially 9 or 10 spots, which is not good. Well, we might need new corners. Might need new one safety. Maybe we need one linebacker, but I'm not convinced. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to address, but you don't have to get superstars at every spot. Y2K, I streamed Persona 4 for about 110 hours over the last few months, and that is turn-based. So I guess you missed all of those, but I've been streaming turn-based stuff a ton lately. Blair will be our free safety next year, but he can't stay healthy. He's had 2 massive injuries now. Yeah, Akeem Hicks. Yeah, Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks is kind of interesting. So is Ryan Jensen. I don't know about the rest. Calais Campbell's like 50 billion years old. Yeah, exactly, Christopher Standard Time. I feel like some of these people lose track of that. What do you think about the D lineman not getting the fumble at Cardinals end zone? I'm not sure what you mean, Orange Stapler. New DC? Probably not. I think Ballore might get cut and re-signed or have his deal redone, but he'll probably be back. He's pretty valuable. Not JRPGs. Oh, okay, Y2K. I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Well, Austin's true. You know, you're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. But I should go into every season believing the Seahawks can win the Super Bowl. Like, I got a comment earlier today that said if we run it back, I think we can go 10-7 or 11-6. And it's like, okay, I don't know if you're happy about that or not, but you do realize the goal is not to go 11-6. Yeah, yeah, David. Well, Travis Homer's good. Travis Homer is a good blocker and a good pass catcher out of the backfield. We were just giving him all those garbage carries last season. Puna Ford, Dunlap, and Hyder played good today. Yes, they did. Anonymous 1337. I don't want an expensive corner. I don't want an expensive corner. Carroll needs to make do with scraps there, and if he can't do it, then he can't do anything well anymore. Yes, I do, DM. I would want Hurts. I think Wilson plays his contract out in Seattle and leaves if we don't get to a Super Bowl. I just don't see him asking for a trade. Well, Pretentious Cameron, the problem with that is there's no way Wilson will play the last year of his deal. He's going to want an extension after next offseason. What's your biggest concern this offseason? Probably left tackle. Daryl Taylor is a dog. Yeah, I love Daryl Taylor. Like, a player like Wilson will never play the last year of his contract. Think about it. Why would you do that? So he's going to want an extension after 2022 season. Yeah, exactly. When you have a franchise quarterback in place, you should be making deep playoff runs constantly. And if you're not, then you need to hold someone accountable for that. Maybe the quarterback isn't as good as you thought. Maybe the coach is bad. Maybe the teammates are bad. Whatever, but that's my thing, guys. Like, in life, if somebody is hired to do something and then they fall drastically short of those expectations, there should be some accountability. Somebody should fall on the axe for that, and it doesn't seem like we're going to have anybody be held accountable for this bad season. I don't like that. Is Waldron coming back? Probably. I would hope so, Pretentious Cameron. You got to go all in. Do you agree that Wilson is glorified game manager? Starting to make me wonder about it, but we'll see. We'll know more after next year is the best I can say right now. This year we saw evidence that way and the evidence the other way. Do you still have hopes for John as our GM? I mean, he's not really our GM is the thing. I'll donate $5 if you chug a beer. I don't drink beer, Scarecrow Bar, and I don't have one. I mean, I don't think that's worth it for me. Orlando Brown Jr. would be interesting, yeah, Scott Nina. I keep forgetting that he's available. Yeah, that's kind of my thing, Smokin' Sunny D. I see these people who say that, you know, Wilson will be fine. We just need to build a run-first offense. And I'm like, I don't want a run-first offense with a super expensive quarterback. And I guess the counterpoint to that would be that Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill are making close to Wilson money in 2022, but just because those teams overpaid for their quarterback doesn't mean that I want to. If you're going to be making that kind of money, I need you to be the driving force. I need you to be Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes, quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls with little to no running game whatsoever. I'll say it again. The Chiefs had no running game the year they won the Super Bowl. They didn't have a single guy go over 500 rushing yards. You got to be that guy. Packers' run game this season has been about average. And look at what Rodgers is doing. Y2KHA, thank you for the $5. Trade Wilson, not stopgap QB. Start Geno or worse. Figure out Kerhand and our giant LT can do it. Hey, the first pick. Trade back to fifth pick for 3 more firsts. I mean, I would still be willing to do it. I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm not feeling like anything's going to happen. I think we're just going to... They're going to try to convince us that this season didn't happen. They're going to try to gaslight us to think that, hey, this 7-10 season, it doesn't exist. It's an illusion. You imagined it. Well, yeah, Luis, Mahomes only has 1 Super Bowl because he's only been in the league a handful of years. He's won an MVP, which is something Wilson hasn't done, so I don't know what your point is. Yeah, the O-line today was... I mean, the O-line is not as bad as people think that it is. It did get worse this year, but in 2020, it was good. In 2018, it was good. Oh, Pretentious Cameron... Wilson has already made it very clear that he really cares about money, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I were in his position, I would probably be doing the same thing. And honestly, do you have any confidence in this team to spend money well? We usually don't. We usually don't spend that money well, so why would he take a pay cut to give us money that we would probably just waste on something stupid like Jerron Reed or Greg Olsen? So I can't blame him for that. But if he's going to make that kind of money, I need him to be the driving force behind an elite offense and a contender. We need a run-first offense. See, that's the problem. If we're going to have a run-first offense, then I can't have the quarterback making 20% of the cap. Do the Seahawks decline Metcalf's fifth-year option? He doesn't have a fifth-year option. He's not a first-round pick. Yeah, Jason Kelsey's a free agent. That's a decent option if you want a one-year stopgap. SB, he could, but Rashad Penny will not stay healthy next year. Well, yeah, Scarecrow Bar, sorry that I can't do it. I don't drink, and I definitely don't want to start tonight. Although I have had a shit week, so maybe it would be a good night for me to start drinking, but I'm not going to do it. It's late. I don't think Matt Paradis is that good, though, Anonymous1337. I don't know if he's a big upgrade. Yeah, exactly, Austin. We can win 10 games next year. You're absolutely right about that. Dream, free agent. Teron Armstead, probably. Move Barton Strongside. I kind of want to try that. Or maybe move him to Will so we can play coverage more. Watching Reed and Diggs cry actually made me feel bad we didn't pay Diggs earlier. I did kind of think about that, but we literally won 12 games last year against a crap schedule, and what happened in the playoffs. Like, that's not a successful season. We blew the 1 seed because we lost to Colt McCoy at home. Like, I'm not excited about that. Yeah, Frank Clark's making some money, but you know what? Here's the thing. Frank Clark helped that team get to win a Super Bowl, so it's all worth it, right? If we become a run-first offense, I'd be down to bring in Cousins. I mean, Cousins is making Wilson money if we're going to be straight honest here, but that's kind of what I'm saying. If you're going to be a run-first offense, then I don't need to be paying the quarterback top 3 money. Casey Hayward for a 1-year deal? Maybe. Yeah, Clowney's a free agent. That one's kind of interesting. I don't know what to make of that. Move Barton Strongside to jam tight end. I'd like to see him in coverage more. Yeah, Austin. Okay, so exactly a week ago, basically to the minute, like to the hour, my basement started flooding. It took me a while to realize it. We stopped it before it did anything bad, but I was up all night bailing out my crawl space because my crawl space flooded and then it started getting out into the basement, and I had to bail out my crawl space so it wouldn't go into the basement any more than it already had. So I was up all night bailing it out, and then we had to do so much laundry. So much laundry because we used every towel in the house. And then a couple nights later, I was in the Arby's drive-through, and some old lady, probably shouldn't be driving, backs into me in the drive-through. Like, she literally reverses into me in the drive-through. I'm not kidding. I was not moving. She just reverses right into me. And it would have been fine because there was no damage and nobody got hurt. Unfortunately, she did not have her license and did not have any proof of insurance. So that turned into a thing. I had to call the cops. Blah, 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 blah. And a couple days ago, I mean, this ended up not being a big deal really, but still very obnoxious. There's some work being done in my bathroom, and they cut into a pipe that they thought was dead, and it wasn't dead. It was live. So water went everywhere. It ended up not really being that big of a deal. We just didn't have water for like 5 hours that day. And then earlier today, my power went out at halftime, so I missed the entire second half of the game and the entire Sunday night game. And yeah, it's been a bad week. Well, Anonymous, are we giving up on Eskridge, or are we giving up on Eskridge already? I'm not doing that. Yeah, Ryan Neal should be cornerback. He's kind of forced to play safety right now, but yeah, he is a corner. Thank you, Keenan. I appreciate that. Would you trade for Mekhi Becton for fourth and fifth round? Probably, but would the Jets do that? They just drafted him not that long ago. I do like Mekhi Becton. Well, you know, I think K&J needs to go. There are people who I know are smart who think Ken Norton's good. And I'm not saying that makes it true, but there are people who I respect on Twitter who swear that Ken Norton Jr. is a great defensive coordinator. Yeah, DK's reduced numbers this year have everything to do with the way the quarterbacks played. Okay, Wilson didn't play that well in some games. We had Geno Smith for 3.5 games. Life's hard sometimes. Yeah, I'm not looking to spend big money on a cornerback, though, Jordan McMath. Pete needs to take care of that stuff. Cheaply. Why doesn't Ryan Neal start at nickel CB? Because we needed him to start at safety. Well, SB, why do we not have a pass rush? Is it because of the coaching or are the players just bad? Yeah, I don't believe in Ugo anymore, and I was really high on him at one point. Yeah, Ray, I'm sure this week's going to be better. It was also my first week back to work, so I was like, this is not what I needed to deal with right now. Yeah, Brian DeBole, he's pretty good. Maybe Kronos, that's possible. Yeah, I think Cody Barton played okay. I wasn't crazy about it, but it was okay. Yeah, Anonymous, it's not a great free agency list, but it's good enough. We just have to attack it aggressively. Karen, Matty F. Brown swears by Ken Norton Jr., and I know he's smart. He insists that Ken Norton Jr. is really good at his job. And I know he's smart. Now, I don't agree with him. Like, he hates Wilson. If you go on his Twitter lately, he's leading like a one-man crusade to get Wilson out of Seattle. Which, I mean, people think I hate Russell Wilson. I don't. I don't hate Russell Wilson at all. But he does. I don't know what I think of James Conner Tackman. All these running backs are kind of equivalent to me. Oh, cool. It's Jose. Welcome. Thoughts on Jordan Brooks? He's good. He's clearly good. He's got some weaknesses, but we should be able to cover those up. No, Blake. Not Ken Norton. Matty F. Brown. Isn't Fletcher Cox too old? I don't think so. And he's pretty physically dominant still. Yeah, none of your business. Dunlap almost certainly had turf toe earlier this year, and that's why he was sucking. Yeah, Jordan, it has to be the coaching at that point, and I do think it's the coaching. Uh, yeah, Brooks over Queen was good, but I didn't want either, and I still don't really want either. Brooks is good, but I just want to draft somebody at a position of higher impact. Your thoughts on Travis Homer? He is valuable. He has a valuable role in the NFL. He is a good third down back. Everyone hated him because he got the ball on 3rd and 25. Like, that's his fault. Thoughts on Eskridge? We'll see next year. Yeah, Dunlap was being dropped into coverage a lot, which I think was a big mistake. Like, I don't know how somebody can look at that and fully defend Norton the way that Matty F. Brown does, but Matty F. Brown swears. Matty F. Brown will run through a wall for Ken Norton Jr., and he knows football. I don't doubt it. But I just kind of feel like there's too many issues there to call him anything other than maybe okay. Who do we replace with Myers if we dump him? It doesn't really matter to me. Could be anybody. Could be a rookie. Could be a veteran. Just don't spend $5 million on a kicker. Spend like $1 million or $2 million. Thoughts on Josh Jones? He played pretty well today, man. He played well. I don't know about a long-term goal for him, but he played well enough to stick around for at least a little bit longer. Do you like Vic Fangio as our DC? I would love it, but I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're going to change our DC, and even if we do, we're going to get somebody who can be a Carroll yes man, not somebody like a Fangio. Evan Engram sucks. Everett's much better than Engram. To hell with that. Yeah, I like DJ too, but I mean he's a running back. It's not the biggest thing it's not the biggest deal in the world. Well, pretentious Cameron, we had a bad kicker this year. Kicking is random in the NFL. That's what I'm trying to say here. Kicking is completely random. So why not spend less money at that position and hope the randomness falls your way? Like, I would understand that argument a little bit better if Myers was good this year and we're trying to decide if we want to keep him for $5 million or not. But he wasn't even good. So I don't get the argument. I really don't. Yeah, Everett overall had a pretty decent season. I think you can bring him back. It wouldn't be too expensive. Decent piece. Yeah, I'm excited about Trey Brown. Jose, I don't want to bring back Diggs. I don't. He's really good, but I can't spend that much money at the safety position. I can't do it. Especially if we're going to keep Wilson. If we're going to keep Wilson, you got to invest in the offensive line. Yeah, it's a decent idea, Ray. It could work. Curhan being this good is a lifesaver. I'll say that. Yeah, Everett made some mistakes, anonymous, but I mean, so did Wilson. Wilson made a lot of mistakes. Dwayne Brown made mistakes this year. Like, I don't know. Metcalf made mistakes. Remember when he didn't run out of bounds against the Steelers? What do we do if DK doesn't resign? Then we force him to play out the 4th year of his contract and then franchise tag him. Yeah, I know, Kronos. It was very similar. Why not move Lewis or Haynes to center next year? We don't know if they can do it. We're assuming that they can do it, but I don't think that we can assume it. Well, Salil, what do you. That mentality is why we're here right now. There's no such thing as too expensive. You spend what you need to spend. Well, Juan, I mean, he's under contract, so if he doesn't want to sign an extension, that's what you can make him do. I wouldn't hate that, Jose. Granted, I hope he can become a solid number three receiver. He's very good at making players miss. I will say that. Thoughts about Diggs? I don't really want him back. I like him, but I can't justify it. Yeah, well, Collier barely played this year. Well, Kronos, what I want to do is move Lewis to. I want to move Lewis to right guard again because that's where he was playing really well. At left guard, his PFF grade is pretty middling, and I feel like right guard is clearly his position. So that's what I want, but who the hell knows? Ben Jones? Not bad. I feel like, isn't he older though? Thoughts on Penny? Sure. Bring him back. Yeah, DK didn't do anything wrong against the Rams. I think those games were on quarterback play more than anything. I mean, DK was getting open over and over and over again against the Rams, and Wilson just wasn't finding him. Like, I'm hard pressed to put that on Metcalf. Metcalf has one more year on his deal, but he can hold out for a new deal this offseason. And here's the thing, guys. Metcalf already has had a devastating, nearly career-ending neck injury. He wants to get paid now. Yeah, David. I didn't get to watch the end of the game, but I was following it along on my phone, and I don't know what happened there, but that was what a disaster for the Chargers. I don't think he's going to be here next year. We don't play him. Why not just cut him? Yeah, Phil Haynes at left guard, Damian Lewis at right guard, and then Gabe Jackson can. I don't know. That's the thing, right? Like, you traded for Gabe, and now you messed his contract up, so he's owed a lot of money. What do you do with Gabe Jackson? I don't know. Sam Clark, I wouldn't keep any of them, but it seems like that's the way we're going to go. Absolutely, Lolo. I agree with that. Don't you miss Doug Baldwin? Of course. Why not? All right, guys. I'm gonna stream for like another couple minutes here. I think I'm gonna stream for about another minute and a half, and then I'm gonna go. We went for an hour, had some productive conversations. But I think I've said all I can say about this game. We're probably gonna stream for another hour tomorrow, but we're gonna turn the focus more towards the off season. I think for the most part. But I'm not on Twitter, Salil Kapoor. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I don't like it. But anyway, I'm gonna go and get out of here. No, I'm not in school. How old do you think I am, Karen? I haven't been in school in over a decade. Who's your target coach if we fire Pete? I like Kellen Moore. All right, so I guess that's really all that can be said. Season's over. It was a pretty crap season, but it ended in a bang, and it doesn't seem like it was bad enough to force any change. And that sucks because I see these other teams that I think had successful seasons with less talent than us. I see these teams that overcame more obstacles than we did. I see these lesser known coaches having more success than our coaches. And I just think that how can I give these guys excuses when I see the success these other teams have? But I that's what we got. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow. I will see you guys later on. Peace out, go Hawks, and